You've probably heard it since childhood. Money doesn't grow on trees. You have to work hard for every penny. There's never enough to go around.
These phrases sound harmless, even wise, but they plant a subconscious belief that money is scarce, that abundance is unnatural, and that ease is suspicious. This belief became your emotional blueprint long before you even earned your first dollar. You absorbed it from the environment around you, from the size of adults stressing over bills, from the tone teachers used when discussing rich people, or from seeing effort constantly glorified while ease was dismissed as laziness. The scarcity mindset teaches you to measure your worth by struggle, not success. It's why you might feel guilty when money comes easily, or suspicious when life flows too smoothly. Somewhere deep down, you've been taught that struggle equals virtue.
But what if that's not true? What if the world isn't designed for lack but for flow, and you've just been conditioned to fear that flow? The biggest lie scarcity teaches is that money rewards effort. But in truth, money rewards value. Think about it. A construction worker can work 12-hour shifts in the blazing sun and still earn less than a YouTuber talking into a camera for 20 minutes. Does that mean the construction worker is less deserving? Of course not. It just means the system doesn't pay for sweat. It pays for impact, scalability, and perception of value. The industrial age taught people to trade time for money. The digital age rewards those who trade ideas for money, people who know how to create leverage. This is why the rich keep getting richer. They've learned to separate time from income. They've replaced labor with systems, automation, and influence.
If you still believe money only comes from hard work, you'll keep trying to earn more by doing more instead of creating more. And that's the hamster wheel most people never escape.
The secret isn't to work harder. It's to ask better questions. Instead of how can I earn more hours, ask how can I increase my value in 1 hour? That's how wealth thinkers operate. They see time as a tool, not a trap. The scarcity mindset doesn't just limit your earnings, it sabotages your behavior.
You might find yourself saying no to opportunities because they feel too risky. You might underprice your work, refuse to invest in yourself, or stay in draining jobs because security feels safer than growth.
Scarcity whispers that there's not enough to go around, not enough money, clients, chances, or luck. So you hoard, hesitate, and hold back. But life doesn't reward fear, it rewards flow.
When you act from abundance, when you trust that opportunities will return, you make bolder, smarter moves. You stop chasing and start choosing.
Scarcity is just an emotional habit. The moment you start observing it, you loosen its grip. People who live in scarcity rarely feel enough, no matter how much they earn.
If you've ever told yourself, once I hit 6 figures, I'll feel secure, only to get there and still feel anxious, you've met the emptiness of scarcity firsthand.
The truth is, scarcity is not about your bank balance. It's about your belief balance. If you believe you're always one paycheck away from disaster, that fear will chase you even into wealth. To escape scarcity, you must redefine enough. Enough isn't a number. It's a feeling of trust in your ability to create, to attract, to recover, and to grow. When you trust yourself, money becomes lighter. It's no longer your master, it's your mirror. Money is not hard to make. It's hard to make when you believe it should be. When you see money as a reflection of value instead of struggle, everything changes. You stop chasing cash and start creating impact. You stop overworking and start thinking strategically. You stop fearing lack and start expecting abundance. Ease doesn't mean laziness, it means alignment. And alignment is what the world actually pays for. Affirmation for this chapter. Money flows easily to me because I create and share genuine value. I am done worshiping struggle. I choose flow. Few ideas have twisted human potential more than this one. Money is the root of all evil. It's repeated casually, often without context, but it's a myth that has chained countless good people to financial struggle. The actual phrase from Scripture says, "The love of money is the root of all evil." The meaning was never to condemn wealth itself, but to warn against worshiping it, to avoid making money your god.
Yet over time the nuance was lost. Generations grew up believing that money itself corrupts, that to desire wealth is somehow immoral, and that poverty equals purity.
You can see this conditioning everywhere. Movies where the villain is rich and ruthless. Stories where the humble poor person is noble and pure. Language that paints rich as suspicious and simple as virtuous. So what happens?
Good, ethical, caring people grow up subconsciously rejecting wealth. They want to help others but feel uncomfortable charging their worth. They crave abundance but associate it with greed. That contradiction keeps them financially trapped, not because they lack ability, but because they feel guilty about having more. Here's the truth: money is neutral. It is neither moral nor immoral. It is a tool like fire, electricity, or technology. Fire can cook a meal or burn a home. Electricity can light a city or electrocute a wire. Money can build hospitals or fund wars. The power doesn't lie in the tool, it lies in the user. Money in the hands of a wise, generous person multiplies goodness. Money in the hands of a fearful, greedy person amplifies harm. So what you do with money depends entirely on who you are. And who you are doesn't change because of wealth. It's revealed by it. Wealth magnifies your values. If you are kind, you'll use it kindly. If you are selfish, it will highlight your selfishness. So if you're a good person who's afraid of becoming evil by getting rich, understand this: your goodness won't vanish. It will have resources. When you believe that money is evil, your subconscious protects you from it. You may not realize it, but you start to repel opportunities. You undercharge, overgive, procrastinate, or forget to follow up on clients. You may feel uncomfortable asking for a raise or talking about money at all. This isn't lack of discipline, it's guilt. And guilt is one of the most powerful energetic blocks you can carry. Ironically, the people who could use money most responsibly are often the ones who fear it. While those driven purely by greed chase it relentlessly, those with integrity often reject it on moral grounds, and in doing so, give up the power to make meaningful change. Ask yourself this: if good-hearted people keep rejecting money, who's left to run the world with it? What if money isn't corrupting, but clarifying? What if having more resources allows you to live your values more deeply? Imagine being able to fund a cause you believe in, or providing stability for your family for generations, or mentoring young people, starting foundations, building schools. Wealth amplifies your reach. It lets your intentions echo further. Instead of feeling guilty for wanting more, consider this: the more financially secure you are, the more people you can help without burning out. The world doesn't need more broke healers, struggling teachers, or underpaid givers. It needs empowered ones, people whose financial freedom allows them to serve without depletion. Money in the hands of the kind-hearted is world-changing. To release the morality myth, you must first forgive yourself for wanting more. Desire is not greed. Desire is growth's invitation. Every living thing expands. Trees grow taller, rivers flow wider, humans dream bigger. Wanting more peace, more freedom, more joy is your nature. The key is not to worship money, but to wield it consciously. To see it as energy, neutral, fluid, abundant, and to use it in ways that align with your higher values. You don't have to become ruthless to be rich. You just have to stop equating virtue with struggle. Money is not the root of evil, it's the amplifier of intention. In your hands, it becomes medicine, opportunity, and freedom. You can be spiritual and wealthy. You can be kind and prosperous. You can be ambitious and humble, all at once. When you align wealth with purpose, you heal the false divide between material and moral. Affirmation for this chapter: money in my hands does good things. Wealth amplifies my values and empowers my purpose. One of the most seductive money myths doesn't sound negative at all, it sounds humble. It says, I'll be wealthy when I've improved myself. Once I'm more disciplined, smarter, or successful, then I'll deserve money. At first glance, this seems wise, a call to growth and maturity, but beneath it lies a quiet form of self-rejection. Because what you're really saying is,
I'm not enough to receive abundance now.
And when your subconscious believes you're not enough, it blocks every opportunity that suggests otherwise.
You'll delay launching the business. You'll downplay your talents. You'll avoid visibility. You won't let money find you because deep down you've decided you don't deserve it yet.
This is the self-worth myth, the idea that wealth is a reward for perfection, not a reflection of self-acceptance.
It's the emotional waiting room where potential stays trapped forever. Your income will never exceed your self-image for long.
You might get lucky, a promotion, a sudden windfall, a viral idea, but if your internal thermostat for worthiness is low, you'll unconsciously bring yourself back down to what feels normal.
That's why people who win the lottery often lose everything within a few years. Their outer reality expanded faster than their inner capacity to receive.
The opposite is also true. Someone who truly believes they deserve wealth will always find a way to rebuild it, even after setbacks. The lesson is clear: you don't get wealth and then feel worthy. You feel worthy first, and wealth simply matches that vibration.
The self-worth myth disguises itself as perfectionism.
You might think, once I master this skill, or once I'm more confident, then I'll charge higher rates or go after the big opportunity.
But perfection is a mirage. The closer you get, the more it moves away. And every delay keeps you safe, not successful.
Your brain loves this myth because it gives you the illusion of progress without the risk of exposure. You can keep preparing, keep learning, keep waiting, and never have to face rejection or failure. But here's the truth. The moment you act before you feel ready, you start expanding your identity.
Courage comes before confidence, not after. You were born worthy.
You didn't have to prove anything as a child to deserve food, love, or care. Somewhere along the way, though, society convinced you that worth must be earned through achievements, appearance, productivity, or morality. That's the foundation of the self-worth myth. It's not about money at all. It's about forgetting your inherent value.
But wealth is a mirror. It reflects not how much you work, but how deeply you believe you deserve ease, flow, and opportunity.
When you reclaim your worthiness, when you stop postponing abundance, your actions become magnetic. You speak with conviction. You charge confidently. You attract effortlessly. Reprogramming your self-worth isn't an intellectual task. It's emotional. You must retrain your nervous system to feel safe with more.
Here's how. 1. Acknowledge your current ceiling.
Notice the amount of money, attention, or success that starts to make you uncomfortable. That's your current worthiness limit.
2. Normalize wealthy emotions.
Visualize yourself having, spending, and giving freely without guilt. Let your body adjust to abundance like it's home, not an invasion.
3. Celebrate every win.
Each time you receive, whether it's a compliment, a client, or an unexpected gift, pause and receive fully. That's how you teach your subconscious. I'm safe with more.
4. Detach self-worth from achievement.
You are not your results. You are the source of them. When you understand that, money becomes a byproduct of being, not doing. So many people undercharge, not because they lack skill, but because they fear judgment.
They think, who am I to ask for that much?
Here's the truth. When you charge what you're worth, you teach others how to value you and themselves. You set a standard that says my work creates transformation, and transformation is priceless. You don't have to apologize for wanting to be compensated abundantly. You don't have to prove your goodness through financial struggle. Wealth is your right, not your prize. You are not becoming worthy, you are remembering that you already are. Money doesn't measure your value, it mirrors your belief in it. The moment you accept that you are enough, you begin acting like it, and the world responds in kind.
You stop chasing. You start receiving. You stop performing. You start allowing.
And that's when abundance stops being effort and starts being natural.
Affirmation for this chapter. I am already worthy of wealth. I don't earn worth, I express it. I allow abundance now, not later. For most people, the idea of security is synonymous with employment. The logic goes like this: get a good job, Work hard. Get paid regularly. Retire safely. It's the script we were all handed, comforting, predictable, and seemingly stable. But the world that script was written for no longer exists.
Decades ago, companies offered pensions, loyalty was rewarded, and long-term employment meant genuine safety. Today, technology, automation, and economic shifts have rewritten the rules entirely.
Yet the belief persists. A safe job is the smart choice. But in truth, that safety often comes at the cost of freedom, creativity, and long-term stability. Because if your only source of income can be taken away with one decision, is it really secure?
A steady paycheck feels stable. It's comforting to see that same number hit your account every month. But what most people don't realize is that it's conditional stability that depends on someone else's decision.
A company's restructure, an industry downturn, a manager's bias, a global event. One external change and the safe job can vanish overnight. True security doesn't come from who pays you. It comes from what you can create. If your income depends entirely on your employer, you're renting stability, not owning it.
Financial freedom begins when you realize that your skills, creativity, and adaptability are your true safety net. They travel with you, they scale with you, they evolve with you.
That's the shift from being an employee to becoming an asset. The stability myth doesn't just shape careers, it shapes identity. You start seeing yourself as a job title, not as a person of value. You measure success by promotions and pay grades rather than fulfillment and freedom. This mindset breeds fear of change.
You may have ideas, passions, or dreams on the side, but the thought of leaving your job feels like jumping off a cliff.
You tell yourself, I can't risk losing security.
But deep down, you know, that security is an illusion you're clinging to because uncertainty feels unbearable.
The irony is that the people who refuse to take calculated risks end up facing the biggest one of all, regret. Regret for not building something of their own. Regret for trading decades of potential for predictable paychecks. Regret for mistaking comfort for safety. Let's redefine what stability really means. True stability isn't about having one source of income, it's about having multiple. It's not about working for someone else's dream, it's about having control over your own. Stability is not a paycheck. It's a skill set. It's confidence in your ability to earn money in multiple ways, regardless of external conditions. When you build diversified streams of income, investments, digital products, consulting, real estate, creative ventures, you create resilience. You stop depending on one fragile bridge and start building many. That's what wealthy people understand. Security isn't in employment, it's in ownership. Transitioning away from the stability myth doesn't mean quitting your job recklessly. It means shifting from dependency to creative independence. Start by viewing your job as a platform, not a prison. Use it to build skills, fund your ideas, and test your independence gradually. Every paycheck can become seed money for your future freedom. Ask yourself, what if I use my stable job to build something that eventually replaces it? That's how creators, entrepreneurs, and investors think. They don't reject employment, they use it strategically. Over time, your perspective shifts. You stop seeing work as a cage and start seeing it as capital, both financial and intellectual. That's when you truly begin to own your time, your talent, and your trajectory. No external system, job, business, or economy can guarantee safety forever. The only lasting stability is internal, your mindset, your resourcefulness, your adaptability. When you trust yourself to create, rebuild, and pivot, you become untouchable. No layoff, crisis, or market crash can take away your sense of power. This internal stability doesn't mean you'll never feel fear, it means you'll never be paralyzed by it. You'll move forward even when things are uncertain because you know you can figure it out. That's real safety. Not dependency, self-trust. A safe job is only as safe as the system around it. But your creativity, skills, and adaptability, those are permanent assets. The myth that stability comes from external sources keeps millions from realizing they already have everything they need to be free. The new truth is this. My stability comes from me.
Not from titles, not from employers, not from paychecks, but from your ability to create value anywhere.
Once you believe that, you'll never fear uncertainty again. You'll embrace it because you know it's just another canvas waiting for your next move. Affirmation for this chapter. My security is within me, not my job. I am my own safety net, adaptable, skilled, and unshakable.
I don't chase stability, I create it.
Few money beliefs are as paralyzing or as quietly poisonous as this one. Some people are just born lucky. It's what many tell themselves when they see others thriving financially. She inherited money. He just had the right connections. They were born into opportunity.
And sometimes, yes, those statements are true. Some people do start ahead. But here's the subtle trap. When you believe that luck determines wealth, you unconsciously surrender your power to change your situation. You stop acting. You stop learning. You wait for a miracle, for timing, for destiny to favor you. The luck myth doesn't just distort your relationship with money, it quietly drains your belief in agency.
It makes wealth feel like a cosmic lottery, not a skill that can be learned. But wealth isn't a stroke of fortune. It's the consistent result of perception, positioning, and persistence. If you observe so-called lucky people closely, you'll notice something fascinating. Their luck often looks suspiciously like preparation meeting opportunity. They put themselves in rooms that others avoid. They take chances others deem risky. They build habits others find boring. They learn faster, adapt quicker, and fail forward, repeatedly.
From the outside, it looks like the universe just hands them success. But what's really happening is this.
They are constantly available to receive it. Luck in reality is exposure plus readiness. If you aren't visible, opportunity can't find you. If you aren't prepared, you can't hold on to it when it does. What most call luck is simply alignment between preparation and timing. The luck myth doesn't just breed passivity, it breeds quiet resentment. It whispers that the game is rigged, that your effort won't matter, that you were never meant to win. That mindset kills drive before it begins. Why strive when you believe the outcome is predetermined?
It's a comfortable narrative for the ego. It lets you stay safe from failure. Because if wealth is about luck, then you're not responsible for not having it.
But here's the uncomfortable truth. Believing in luck is often a way of protecting yourself from trying and losing. It's easier to say they're just lucky than to say I haven't yet learned what they know. Let's strip away the illusion. Behind every financially successful person lies a combination of 4 forces, none of which are random. 1. Belief. They genuinely believe wealth is attainable for them. This allows them to act like it's possible long before it happens. 2. Skill. They keep learning about money, markets, human behavior, and themselves. Each skill compounds into better decisions. 3. Courage. They take imperfect action, again and again. Every risk recalibrates their internal compass. 4. Timing. They recognize and move fast when opportunities align. Because they've been preparing for them all along. When these 4 elements meet, the world calls it luck. But those who live it call it an intention.
Yes, some people are born into wealth. They inherit networks, education, and capital.
That's real, but it's not the full story.
If you were born without those advantages, you were given something equally powerful: perspective and hunger.
Hunger sharpens creativity. It forces innovation. It teaches you to build resilience, something money can't buy.
Many of the world's self-made millionaires weren't just unlucky, they were forged in scarcity. Their lack of privilege became their edge.
They saw opportunities others overlooked because they had to. They built connections from scratch because no one handed them a network. They became resourceful because there was no alternative.
Your lack of privilege can be your training ground if you stop using it as your ceiling.
Luck is not random, it's energetic. The universe tends to favor movement.
Opportunities orbit around those who are in motion, who take action, stay curious, and stay visible.
When you sit still, convinced that life has already decided your fate, nothing finds you. When you move, when you read, learn, talk, build, connect, you increase your surface area for luck to land. In short, you create collisions with opportunity. The more you move, the more the world moves around you. It's not metaphysical, it's mathematical. You're giving yourself more chances to win. You don't need to wait for fortune, you can manufacture it. Here's how. 1. Expand your environment. New people, places, and information expose you to new possibilities. Every lucky break begins with being in the right place, which means leaving your comfort zone. 2. Learn relentlessly. Skill is the foundation of all sustainable wealth. The more you know, the more you notice, and noticing opportunity is luck in action. 3. Act on impulses quickly. Hesitation kills more luck than bad decisions do. Move fast, adjust later. Speed is the currency of the new economy. 4. Stay consistent. Most people give up right before their compounded effort turns visible. Those who persist create the illusion of overnight success. 5. Celebrate others' wins. Envy repels opportunity. Gratitude attracts it. When you celebrate what you want to receive, you align with it energetically. Luck isn't something you wait for, it's something you generate. You generate it by learning, showing up, and staying ready. You create it by becoming a magnet for opportunity through effort, awareness, and openness. The world doesn't reward the lucky, it rewards the prepared. So stop waiting to be chosen by chance. Start positioning yourself to be chosen by results. Affirmation for this chapter. I don't need luck, I create opportunity. Every day, I position myself for wealth through awareness, courage, and skill. The universe favors my movement. You've now seen through 5 of the most powerful money myths. 1. The scarcity myth, there's not enough. 2. The morality myth, money is evil. 3. The self-worth myth, I'm not ready yet. 4. The stability myth, a job is safety. 5. The luck myth, some are just born for it. Each one was built to make you small, to keep you compliant, safe, predictable. But you are not here to be small. You are here to expand. When you challenge your money beliefs, you challenge your inherited limits. And when those limits fall, abundance stops being something you chase, it becomes something you embody. Final affirmation for the audiobook. Money is not my master, it's my mirror. It reflects my beliefs, my courage, and my readiness. And from this